Hopefully this works. Let me just get set up here. Okay, I think I got everything set up. I got to go back on my. Hopefully this works. Let me. Okay, now I think I'm set up. I'll just wait for some people to get in here before I start chatting too much. So yeah, I decided. Just kind of making sure everything is set up. I got my microphone on, the camera, the TV's on, OBS Studio's on. I'm just waiting for some people to get in here before I start talking. I got a whole list of stuff to talk about. Looks like the internet is doing good. So far, so good. Michelle had to rip into him the other day. I didn't have no internet. And we could go over that a little bit later. But yeah. So yeah, I just going we're just going on the short feed tonight. Hopefully we pick up some people. Yeah, now we got a couple people in here. It looks like yeah, so I decided to start early because sometimes I have trouble getting this stuff to take off. Looks like we are up and live. Yeah, I was just gonna I don't know why it says there's a warning here, but not sure. But I was just gonna crack open a root beer. Kind of thirsty. It's been kind of warm out today. 83, I think it got up to, and tomorrow it's gonna get up to 83 again, and then anywhere from, I think they said 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we could get some bad storms. Like they're predicting tornadoes. I don't like that they predict that because usually they're wrong. But that's what they're doing. They're trying to scare everybody right now. So I got a couple different kinds. This is cheaper than what I normally get, or not that I normally get, but this is the cheaper one out of hello from, well, you're Iranian, so cool, but hello. Hope you're not in Iran. But we got these. This one is from Spring Grove, Minnesota, and Benny let me onto this because we were talking about root beer in our streams one night. So I'm just gonna continue to talk about. I'm just gonna continue to open my streams with some root beer. So this time I'm drinking Dad's, but there is some other kinds out there. Hey Michelle. Hey Leisure. Yeah, I came on a little bit early because sometimes I have a hard time getting this thing to work right in case I got to redo something. So, and I'm decided I was going to crack open a Dad's. So it's a little bit cheaper than the Spring Grove stuff, but if Betty comes on, I might crack open a Dad's. We're in Minnesota, southern Minnesota, southeastern, and a small town called Grand Meadow. So, yeah, we're just getting started here, and I got a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. So I don't know how to say that. I'm going to butcher this, but the Iranian Behad, where are you from, or where are you living right now? Kay Foster, I seen you on a Dateline. You was in prison. Now you free. Yeah, no, I wasn't on a Dateline. Yeah, so I'm just getting started. I guess we could talk about, so the Ranger. We're gonna be in the parade, our small town festival this year. And I started getting it ready to go. We took off the maroon box graphics that I had made, and we got it. It's kind of just plain right now, so we're deciding how we're going to letter that up. Jackie Fenton, hey, how's it going? We decided. I'm glad you could make the live feed tonight. Yeah, we're just getting started. Kay Foster, oh, it's all. Oh, okay. A guy looks like you was on Daylight on a prison mechanic. Well, that would be a. Yeah, I don't know. Most mechanics I know are honest. I don't know. I'm not from a bigger city, so we do very honest. Honesty is one of our main things here at my shop, and it's got me a long ways over the last 35 years. Just being honest with your customer. So yeah, we're gonna, and then my reps are all coming in tomorrow. So like Napa, no, Napa don't come here, but O'Reilly's, Johnson will come here. So I'm gonna ask them like if they want to donate some candy or some water when we're in the parade. I'm gonna put a little sign on the Ranger for them. So I think that'll go over good, and they're coming in tomorrow, at least a couple of them. And then if that turns out good with those guys, I'll contact like AutoZone and Napa and see what they want to do. But yeah, so that's the first thing. Buff is here. No Buff and Kim stream tonight. You got to keep everyone entertained, Pete. Well, you guys are still on vacation then. And that green screen thing you had, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I would ever need one. I could, like Kim said, I could just put a little picture of me in the corner. But yeah, I enjoy coming to your live feeds. You guys get a lot more people in yours. So yeah, I had to get a new chair, the chair I'm sitting on right now, because my old one I got from Target a long time ago, it was tipped down so far I couldn't hardly sit on my chair, and this one's so much more comfortable. Mini Gongo, yeah, we're getting some on the. So let me show you my chair, and I took the bottom off the chair I had because I don't want it to roll around, and then got this on there, and then I even made it so it can go up and down with the lever. So yeah, it's a lot more comfortable and it's softer. So that's the second thing. The other thing I want to talk about is some tools tonight. El Cheapo, I'm wondering what El Cheapo tools you guys use. And then I got, I can't read that. And then Jeffro on his live feed on Sunday wanted to talk about some wrenches. So I got some wrenches, and I don't know how we would do in an exchange, but I got a whole bunch of wrenches that I could either give away, or I try to sell them here in the shop. Yeah, out of 2 chairs, made it. And it works a lot better. I'm a lot more happy, and I can sit in my chair. Yeah, it could be a great haircut chair. It doesn't tip back or nothing. So yeah, cracked open a root beer, and then we got Benny's root beer in case he comes. So starting off with some root beer. But let's go take a look at some of them wrenches back here. And there I'm up on the TV. But maybe I can just set you guys like right here. Yeah, that'll work. So got a whole bunch of, I got Craftsman wrench. This one's a little rusty on my microphone. But some of these are like brand new, but yeah, this is not a, yeah, this is a V. So if you get on this side, it won't focus. And then there's some older ones in here. Another V. There was some really older ones in here, but so it's just a bunch of Craftsman wrenches, and I gotta adjust my microphone. Oh, that seems better. Hopefully you guys can still hear. And then what's this one? So this is a non-V. There's no V's at all. An older one. But there's some India double box ends. This looks like a newer one. No, this is really weird. So this is a Craftsman. But on the back, it says some weird stuff. In Japan, it's made in Japan. This one's made in Japan, so that's weird. I'd probably never find the old ones that I have. I might have already set some of them out. Yeah, here's another Japanese Craftsman. That's weird. And then there's some double box ends. There's other brands in here. This is an industrial. Here's a super wrench, which is a Williams. Taiwan on this one. Made in the USA on this one. Electrolyte. Master Mechanic is made in Taiwan. Here's a TRW USA. Bluegrass. Here would be a collector. Bluegrass, and it's made in the USA. So I bought all these at Action USA. I bought all these at a I don't know if you want to call it a yard sale, I suppose. Powercraft, made in the USA. 9/16. That's a nice one. I could use that probably. So yeah, I cleaned off the back bench. That was another thing I was going to say. Had a little time today to get them wrenches out, clean this bench off. I cleaned this one off over here, and then on the side of my cart toolbox over here, I got that just a little bit cleaner right here so I could set some stuff. Right here on the side tray. So I'll come back over here, try to catch up on some comments. Haircut chair, yeah, we got to that one. It's actually an old antique office chair, but it was a short one. Leisure says, make up rust remover from water, baking soda, and citric acid. Make up rust remover, water, baking soda. Yeah, I got those two. I don't have the citric acid, so that's what we should put on the. Yeah, my internet's kind of cutting out now. That's what we need to do for the oddities. The oddities for the long video I did the other day. Just add some fresh squeezed lemon juice in it. Okay. I'm going to try that. No. Okay, that's what Michelle said. No lemon juice. No lemon juice. Save the lemons for the Coronas. TIWs are rare. Okay, yeah, I got some rare wrenches back there. I just know I do. Corona needs limes, not lemons. Okay. Yeah, Michelle, the internet, she's kind of going up and down. I don't know if you're on the internet over there at the house. So I suppose I could explain that one. So we took the Metro home internet box out of here because we had it here. Michelle called them. We're going to get a new box. But anyways, so I need internet at the house, and here in my house is only a couple blocks away. So let me show you how I get internet to my shop. So I just plug, there's a better picture on here. So I plug her, I hardwire with a, I don't know, Cat 5 cable, Cat 6 from one of these to her home internet box, and then that beams a 5 gigahertz signal over here to my shop, which I don't know how many feet away we are, but it's like a block and a half, maybe 2 blocks, probably about 2 blocks. And then I have a router in here. And so that's how we get our internet here. So we just buy one internet and then beam it over to the shop. But I do know the beaming can support 100 megabytes a second, or not megabytes, but what is it? Let me look. I think that's what it is, megabytes per second. I know that can do 100. Because I've seen it do it before. But right now, let me do a speed test because something's not doing very good here. And I got the air conditioning on. It's been on the last couple days because it's been pretty hot outside. And today we're outside and I mowed the ditch. But I won't even test my internet right now. Oh boy. It says we got a good signal in here. Let me go back to that page. It's off. So yeah, Amazon. Yeah, I don't know. It won't even test us so bad right now. So we got a new Amazon hub in a close by nearby town to us, like 15 miles from here. And they now deliver on Saturdays and Sundays. So this last Sunday we weren't here, so they called us, wanted to know where they could leave our package. My phone number's on the door. And I answered. I usually don't, if it says spam, I swipe it, but I guess if it looks legit, I'll answer. And we just told her to put it in the pickup. Yeah, my upload speed it's crap. So I don't know, Michelle, if you could switch off your phone and use your data. Oh, she says she's not on it. Okay, so, well, it says I got a good connection in here, and it says I should be able to, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have to get Starlink. Well, we'll try the new box. I asked Michelle if she wanted to go get the new box today, and she said no, because she went chasing parts yesterday. She's always on the road. I send her everywhere. So yeah, the wrench exchange with Jeffro. Yeah, I got some wrenches to exchange or give to people. So yeah, the O'Reilly's rep came in the other day, and he's like, "You got to get some brake cleaner." I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "We got 17 or 250 year anniversary of our country cans." So I went and got one, or I got 2. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. Celebrating 250 years there. Up here. So today I was just watching a Raymond Ray's repair video, and he has the same can in his windowsill in the office of the new shop. So if you see that, if you watch one of his videos, you can see that in the windowsill. So yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I got 2 of these, and I'm not going to use them. I'm going to keep them because I got a whole bunch of. Yeah, it's kind of like a satellite. I just call it a beamer. We just beam our internet over here. And that thing is high speed, and it does work when that box has good internet. My speed it goes way up. So I know it's not on my side. And then plus we brought the internet box over here, and I use the same Wi-Fi SSID and password. So we just have to bring it over here, and I have to turn mine off, and everything connects. So I know it's the home internet box from Metro because the other day I didn't have any internet at all. I'm like, I can't do videos, I can't look at parts, I can't order parts, can't do nothing. And then Michelle got on them right away, called them, and they said, soon as Michelle called them and they looked up our account, my internet started working again. And it's been half good today, but they're gonna give us a new box to try, so we'll see what an updated box does, because this box is a couple years old. Hey Rob, yeah, we're just getting started. Look at this can of brake cleaner from O'Reilly's. It's celebrating our 250 years of our country. I think that's pretty damn cool. I don't necessarily like O'Reilly's brake cleaner, but I'm just going to keep this can on the shelf. So that was one of the other things, and I got to talk to the reps about some other stuff when they come in tomorrow. Wednesday is their day they come here. Yeah, so I seen the same can of that in one of Raymond Ray's videos today. I was just kind of searching videos. Yeah, it's been 83 degrees here today, Rob. It's kind of warm out for me, and it was a sunny day, direct sunlight. I was out there mowing the ditch, and I was kind of sweating a little bit. I was just wondering how your garden was doing. So they growing up pretty good, or they haven't sprouted yet? I don't know a lot about gardens. I spend most of my time in here, and Michelle takes care of some of that stuff. Slap the box around with a hockey stick. Yeah, I'm thinking I got some pretty good hammers back there, or I could just smash it on the ground. I'm just wondering what the new box is going to do. I think the problem is we don't have a tower very close to here, and at this time of night, I think everybody's on their phones, and it hogs the tower. Plus, I think some of the businesses upload data at night. I don't know. So Rob says, I just helped a buddy start fencing tonight. Jeez. Yeah, how warm is it over there in Pennsylvania? Because it's 83 over here. Yeah, it's kind of sweating. Well, they're growing well, so that's good. Rob's growing some food or some vegetables, stuff like that, I think. Ain't that right, Rob? You got like your own little vegetable garden. Sending a pick of squash, zucchini, corn, beans, the Three Sisters it's called. 86. Yeah, so that's even warmer than it was here. It's supposed to get up to 91 tomorrow, but they reforecasted, and it's only going to be 83. But sometime between 2 and 9 o'clock, we're going to get bad storms. And they're even forecasting tornadoes, so they're scaring the hell out of people. I don't know why they do that, because a lot of the times they're not right, but let's hope they're not right. So yeah, we're talking about Matco tools on Jeff Rose live feed on Sunday, and where they're made and stuff. So the Matco guy stopped in yesterday, and I told him we were talking about him. Rob says Thursday, Friday is the cooking here, and I say it's just getting me ready for the Florida trip. Yeah, I can't. We're gonna go. We decided we're going to Florida in August, and we're going to take 3 weeks off. So yeah, I was talking to the Matco guy and told him that we were talking about his tools on the live feed, and I kind of was pretty hard on him, and I don't like buying Chinese tools, and for some reason all the tools I buy off the Matco truck are Chinese. But he said only 10% of his tools are made overseas. And I just think he was lying to me. I'm like, as far as I know, only your toolboxes and just a few other things are made here in the U.S. But he was going through it, and I'm just gonna check. Rob sent me a text. See what this image looks like. Oh yeah, they're sprouted up really nice. I don't know what's. Yeah, that's. So what is that in the drinking tub there? Yeah, Taiwan, and I did see some made in Germany because I was snooping through his truck and trying to look at everything. He said all his ratchets are USA, and he was talking about that same whatever it was company, and then how they split off in 1979. He knew about that, so he knew some stuff, but I just don't believe him. I just went and looked at some of my Matco tools I got here, and if they don't say USA on them, they're not made in the USA. Timmy, I'm glad you made it. How did racing go this last weekend? Still watching some of your videos. They pop up on my short feed. That's pretty awesome, Rob. Looks like your dirt is good and healthy there. I know some places probably don't have good enough dirt. Squash and zucchini, corn, beans, dill is inedible after it's established, so that's scattered in. Peppers and buckets. Yeah, you're gonna. That's awesome. So if you're not gonna be able to eat it all, are you gonna can it or preserve it somehow when it gets ready to harvest? You're not. You got so much you're not, or you'll probably have just a big sale and give it away. I'm doing great. Just got home because a friend of Dad's, rest in peace, give me a B mod. You got a B mod? Well, that's pretty cool. That must have been what you were talking about getting a 383 for. So a 383, what's that? A 400 crank and a 350 block? I can't. So Rob cans a lot of it, so that's good. He's gonna send me a pic of a jar of pickles. So yeah, the Matco guy, I gave him a lot of crap, and I paid off my bill. I didn't buy anything. I'm kind of the tools on his truck are way overpriced. I mean, if he's watching this live feed, maybe he could do something about that. I just feel like I don't want Chinese tools, though I buy them. It seems like, so that must be what I can afford off his truck is the Chinese stuff that is 300 times overpriced. And then all their ratchets are the comfort handles or whatever. I don't like comfort handles ratchets because they don't last. They get full of oil, and sometimes them handles will even slip off. You'll bash yourself in the face. Michelle says, I absolutely love pickles. Timmy, a 380 stroker is a highly popular high-performance modification of a classic Chevrolet small block engine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 400 crank and a 350 block. So what's a 400 crank? 3.75 stroke with a 4-inch bore. Well, then you got to bore it 30 over too to get the 383. So yeah, Hyper Tough. I got some Hyper Tough Walmart tools here, and I was saving them to do a video on, but the other day I was like, well, I better open these just to be sure what's going on. I don't want to look like a fool doing a video. Michelle, I'll put a homemade care package together for you all, jams, etc. Maybe a water sample if I get around to it. Yeah, sometime, Rob. That would be completely cool. And then Michelle could hang out here in the shop when we do a live feed, and we could have some. That would be cool. Yeah, so I found this Hyper Tough tool. It's got a magnet on both ends, and it's a light. I don't think I've ever used it, and it extends out, and it can curve. So that's pretty cool. That's all the way out. So this one does, I kind of like this one, but I haven't used it. I think it feels like quality. I don't know where it would be made. But some of my other Hyper Tough tools, and let me put them on put them up here on the screen. Now here's my Pryvar right here. This says it's made in the USA. And we've been trying to get this warranted for a few months now. It fell on the floor. I was using it, dropped it from like waist high, maybe a little bit higher. And the striker handle cap broke right off, and that's not a solid piece. So we've gone to Walmart a couple times, and they just they don't refuse to warranty it, but they want a slip, and they never seem to have this long bar in stock. So there's that. So Rob says, I'm so torn with Hyper Tough. Really like them, but I feel on the fence. It's either a keeper or a dud. Yeah, so I do use these. I went and got another one. I just try not to drop it or hit it with the hammer. So there is that. But they are very cheap. And they're so that's for how long that Pryvar is, that's very cheap. So far with the other smaller ones, I haven't had no trouble. I try to use them because I'm not convinced they're made in the USA. So let me show you. Let's go to the next picture. So I'm going to move this picture off. So I bought some of these at last Christmas time. They're gold, and I think they were only like 12 bucks, maybe 10 bucks. And I decided to open them the other day. Let me show you what that ratchet says on it. The ratchet feels like it's got good I got to move these pictures on and off now. So ratchet, this picture. It says light duty right on the, I don't know if you call that the drive, the square drive part there. So it's 1/4 inch out on that end. Where it says light duty, that's a 1/2 inch drive. I think, let me make sure I'm not. And then on the other side, that's a 3/8. I don't think I'd ever use that ratchet. So here it is. It sounds good. Switch is good. But this little guy sticking out, and then a double-sided, I mean, yeah, it's shorter. So there's my hand, but all right, so not too impressed with this ratchet. Yeah, and there's where it says light duty. But and that's definitely not gold. That's just some kind of anodized stuff. It says Hyper Tough. So I'm like, I was saving these since last Christmas, but yeah, so I got the sockets, and I didn't realize. So the big one here, this is a 1/2 inch drive, 6-point, 1/2 inch drive, 6-point shallow, and then so them are pretty normal sizes. So that's what this ratchet, because they're all different sizes on this rail. And then we got this, I guess I don't have one of these, but this is too flexible, but it's a 12-point. So I don't have a 12-point 10 millimeter. Wait a minute. So is that a 10 millimeter? Yeah, 10 millimeter, but it says 3/8 down here because that's 3/8 drive. And then we got a 10 millimeter. There's no magnets in these. They're supposed to have magnets in some of these. Yeah, this one's supposed to be a magnet. There's no magnet in there. They're all 10 millimeters. But the wobble sockets are so free and loose. And then we get, so the only 12-point socket is this one. Yeah, look at it, just flops. So I don't know. It's unless you really like Hyper Tough in Walmart, what would you do with this thing? Like, it's garbage. Here's a set that I bought from ATI. And these, so they're 1/4 inch drive and 3/8, but I use these all the time, and I keep them over there in my in the service bay. And this black one here has a magnet in it, which comes in handy, and so does the 1/4 inch short one right here. This 1/4 inch flex 10mm is a little bit long right in this area, but this one's normal and it's tight. But yeah, I think I paid like $12 for this one, ATI, and it's got a little dust on there. But yeah, I'm not impressed with those Hyper Toughs. I got some hammers back there because I seen another guy that did shorts on them. So I got some bigger hammers back there. Yeah, Michelle, the internet is shutting on and off. It's down so low. No, I don't. I had it on live chat, not all comments. Okay, so I see a lot more comments now, but I don't have enough internet. Okay, so go back here. They got what? Greenworks in there now, and the heart is out. We can't seem to find that bar length in stock whenever we go there. Yeah, and I lost a slip now, so if I go there again with it, they're going to have to answer to me. Michelle, did you look down the baseball bat aisle? Well, I've never seen Hyper Tough Gold. Yeah, it was a special for Christmas. Another guy had a video on those, but he didn't say they were crap. So I wish I could find that short video so I could comment back on, because I told him I was going to go get some. But if you're going to do a tool review, you should at least tell people like, hey, these are kind of cheesy. Michelle, I hope you're not lost with what I say about that motor. Yeah, she doesn't know a lot about engines, so she only learns from me, and that's only been a couple years now. I mean, she knew how to change oil on her car and the tires, and on her Expedition, maybe the spark plugs. She'll tell you what she knows how to do. Yeah, no, I read it. A 383 stroker is a highly popular high-performance modification of the classic small block Chevrolet V8 engine. It upgrades from a standard 350 cubic inch to 5.7 liter engine to 383 inches, 6.3 by combining. Yeah, I never ran any 383s or 377s. I ran 350s and 400s. I do want to make like I think it's like a three. I'm gonna put a 3-inch stroke in a 400 block. That's gonna be the next engine I build. I just want a flat plane crankshaft, which I can't find a 3-inch stroke flat plane crankshaft for an SB1. Yeah, I got him. Michelle, yeah, so I did scroll up a little bit. Yeah, now the internet says it's working again. Yeah, B-Mod. Yeah, so that's where I said he was going to, because I knew he was talking about a 383 engine, and now he says he's getting a B-Mod. So I was like, I put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, I think 383s they're all right. I prefer the 400. Swimwan Toda Porous 20 2022 engine timing Fomoco. I don't know. Maybe Leisure could answer that one with a Toyota with Ford Motorcraft Company parts on it. I don't know. Swimwam, where are you from? Looks like you're working on a Toyota. Timmy just got the B-Mod today, he said. Yeah, I read that one. Maybe you guys didn't hear me. I can go read it again. I'm looking for it. So I said something like, hey, Timmy, and how was the racing last weekend? And then Timmy said, I'm doing great. Just got home because a friend of Dad, rest in peace, gave me a B-Mod. That's awesome. And then I said, oh, so that's why you were talking about the 383. And then he tells us about the 383 Chevy engine. Prius. Toyota Prius 2022 engine timing. Maybe FOMOCO stands for something else other than Ford Motor Company. Ford and Mazda are in cahoots. Yep, I know. I don't like Mazda engines because I screwed one up and bent all the valves because the bottom timing gear is just pinched on there. I had to learn the hard way, be working on a Mazda. Was that what he means? Ford, Mazda. Yeah, I didn't know Toyota. I don't know if Toyota's in there, but Ford and Mazda, yeah. The Chevy and Isuzu. Jeep has Chevy, Chrysler, and yeah, remember the Jeeps that had the 2.5 4-cylinder Chevy engine in them? And I'm drinking Dad's root beer tonight. Yeah, so the Matco guy only says 10% of his tools are made overseas, but I think he's going to have to recount them. And I showed you my office chair. That's so much better for me. It makes me, I can lean back in it, put my feet up on the stool. So yeah, we're doing good. We're staying right on schedule. I don't have no cars in here right now. Tomorrow I got an exhaust manifold job coming in. Yeah, I was just wondering. Oh, GD isn't here, but I was just wondering how he yeah, the 2.8s. Yep. And then that engine evolved to the 3.1 and 3.4 and a 3.9. Isn't that right? But yeah, my car had the 3.1, and then I changed it to a 3.4. I forgot about that. Oh, it was a Isuzu. One of my ex had a Axiom that died on the highway like 4 hours from home with a major engine issue. We did an oil change on the side of the road and drove it. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Tow records cost a lot of money. That's why people call me, and yeah, this morning I had a gal call me. She was over at the gas station and wondering if I could change her tire. So I ran over there with the Ranger and a jack and an impact wrench, and I changed her tire. And I told her how much it was going to cost before I did anything. And then she was wondering how she could pay me. But we got it all figured out. What else? Let me look at what else I did. I got to pull up the invoices. Oh, so I had a headlight come in. That was a walk-in. I got the AC job all done today. It turned out really good. The compressor finally came in today. So I did the condenser yesterday, and I was able to slide that out of there really easily. I don't know if that's how you do it or not, but it didn't take me no time at all. And then the compressor, you just take the 3 bolts out of it, slide it all the way ahead, and then unhook the lines and vice versa to put it back in. So that didn't turn out to be too hard at all. And cleaned out the lines in the evaporator and vacuumed it all down for extra long because I cleaned it all out. And then made sure the compressor had enough oil. The whole system only calls for like 3.4 ounces. And the compressor contained, I dumped it out. It had more than 3 ounces in it. And then I put an ounce in the condenser. So it's got a little more oil than it's supposed to have, but I think that's okay. Oh, and then I had an emergency brake job. That was the one I did the video on today. And I thought when I went out to the parking lot, looked at it the other day, I thought I seen the front pads were down, but got the wheels off it today and they were not down. So I did not do the front. They were half or better. Did not do the front. So I did the back and I just pad slapped it. So that's what they wanted. And then I changed the oil. We fixed the light bulb. Did kind of an inspection on it. And they were completely happy and they came and got it already. So both those are gone. I'm on schedule. Tomorrow it's an exhaust manifold. Let me just look in the book. And transmission flush on a newer vehicle the next day. Older Dodge Ram's coming in on Friday for the sway bar. Oh boy. Michelle, you'd never ordered the sway bar. And then older Chrysler 200 for a PO 300 and PO 335. And then after that's oil change day, and there's one oil change lined up, and then a guy needed an emergency. He's got a leak on his front diff, so I told him I'd take care of that on Saturday. Yeah, I had an old S10. I think it was a 1982, and it had the Isuzu engine in there. It had a 5-speed. And I remember having to pull off the head, and it just had some burned valves. But I got all that fixed, and we would hot rod that little truck around. And I remember one night we revved it up so hard, like downshifting, because it wouldn't rev that high normally. And the fan pulled itself right off the hub of the water pump. But we just pounded it back on and finished up our night and drove home. And it didn't get into the radiator that I remember, so it was a plastic fan. Yep, so me and Michelle have been working on the Ranger. I got everything almost mechanically solid on it, but the check engine light is on, and I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure how to check it to see what the code is. Yeah, Rob says, Michelle, you just got to reply with you told me you were going to order that. Oh yeah, I better check on that right now. Oh boy. I'm going to check on that right now and see if I can order it and get it here in time for Friday. I hit the wrong tab. It's this one. Wonder how the internet's doing because my page is not loading. It says we got enough here in the app. So I did learn this. When you do a speed test and you're using the internet, that's called bandwidth. So everything that's using a lot of bandwidth will leave less for the test. So sometimes when I do the test, that's not my total capacity. I don't know how many connected devices I have at the house. There's a lot. There's a lot of connected devices in here. Oh, it says if I order it right now, it'll be delivered on Friday. I'm going to go ahead and order this. If I got enough internet to order it. It's the whole kit. It comes with the sway bar bushings, the sway bar links. And as soon as the picture pulls back up again, I'll tell you what else it has. Bolts, I think there's bolts. Yeah, bolts, sway bar links, sway bar bushing covers, because they're a half moon style thing. and the sway bar itself, because you know they like to break off on the end on the Dodge Ram pickups. All right, good thing I was looking at the schedule book. What is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, so that should be just enough time to get it here. And we got a new Amazon hub in Sturtville that are delivering packages on Sunday. And then they even call you if they don't know where to put it. Oh boy. My internet, this is unbearable. Place my order. Yeah, I order so much stuff on Amazon. I am a mandatory Prime. Which when that first happened to me, I tried to cancel the Prime and told them I didn't want it. But they said you can't. And I'm glad they didn't let me, because it saves me so much money on shipping. But I think it's like $18 a month I gotta pay for. But most of my items I get free shipping, and I order quite a bit of stuff on Amazon every well, not every day, but every week. Quite a bit of stuff. Let me get back. So yeah, the Ranger, we want to get maybe some sponsors, and I'm not sure what we're gonna do. So these are just blanks, and I cut the sides out yesterday, and then today I cut out the back. And then I did, it's vinyl, so I just put it on. I didn't use no transfer paper, tape, or nothing. I just set it up there and eyed it on there. And I cut these with my vinyl cutter. But I want to put like custom car on there, and then Ranger XP. I just don't know. And then everything's silver on it, so that's why we changed it from what it was. Let me find the other picture. So it was where is the other picture of the Ranger? So it was kind of a maroonish colored sticker, and orange, because the seats are maroon or red. But I think we're gonna ask all our parts distributors, even the dealers, if they want to advertise in our parade this year. And we're not gonna ask for money or anything. We're gonna ask for, like, bottled water or candy for the kids, stuff like that. So I'm thinking it's going to go over pretty well, and tomorrow's going to be our first time that I'll ask somebody for. How come I can't find the other Ranger picture? So yeah, I did figure out in the OSB Studio how to make my the resolution higher for you guys, if I got enough internet to. Yeah, so all the flags on the wall up here, they all could go on the Ranger, and there's a spot for each one of them. But maybe like our 250th birthday flag. That just went out again, Michelle. Michelle, the internet keeps going on and off. Tie her. Yeah, so Michelle wants to put Daisy on the back. But I'm just wondering if it's going to be too hot out that day. And then the other thing is, our parade is always jinxed every year. It rains. So yeah, we changed that out. I still got to finish up, and I can only do one color, so they got to be overlapped, the vinyl. But there's a couple colors on the other one. So 1, 2, 3. There's a black, orange, white, and then the background. Yeah, no, we got to figure out this internet. So hopefully you can go to town to one of these days and get that new box. So yeah, I was gonna show you guys. So here's the CRV when I was working on it. I don't have a picture of it when it was totally wrecked, but it's in the live feed. And then here the other day, I took this picture outside. It's a little bit crinkled up, but everything's on there. Everything works. His air conditioning works. He's been out now for almost, what is it going to be, 2 weeks now? A week and a half since I got it fixed. He's completely happy. He waves at me, smiles at me every day. So yeah, that's the CRV, the mailman. He had a deer fit. What was it, 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday? And I straightened everything and I put a lot of sheetrock screws in that bumper cover. And then the headlight, I had to make my own brackets because they were all broken off of there. And then the hood's up a little bit and the fender's out a little bit, but it's gonna get beat up on the mail route. And to be honest, that car is not gonna last, I don't know, maybe it'll last a long time, but I don't suspect that the abuse that this car goes through. I just hope he never wants me to put an engine in it. I guess I could do that. Yeah, that internet box, I mean, we do the best we can, and we tried really hard. My old internet, that's why we got this Metro box, because Michelle had it. My old internet was bad. It went out. Every time it rained, I lost internet. Sometimes it wouldn't come back until the next day. I've just had a bad experience with the internet. My original internet I had was through the cable company, and they kept raising my bill every 2 months, so I didn't like that, so I canned them. I used to be able to steal some people's internet, but now everybody's locked. They know how to put their security or passwords or whatever onto their things. There's no open internet around here. And if there is an open internet, it's over at the gas station, and they got the signal set down so weak that I can't pick up on it. So Michelle says she'll try to go tomorrow. Yeah, here's where I was pulling the frame with the Ranger on the mailman. And the mailman needs an LLV. You'll have to let me know what LLV means. Limited liability vehicle. Tend to plug into Skynet. Yeah, there's just no open internets around it. I use that Skynet little device when I'm traveling sometimes, if I remember to bring it. Yeah, yesterday I screwed up really bad. So we got the motorhome over at the house. We're going to camp over there for a while. So we're right in the driveway of the house, and I got a 30 amp, 240 volt LC. It's LC. Is it L? It's L630. It's a twist lock plug that I use for all my welders and stuff at home. So the RV plug to me looked like a 240 volt plug, but it's not. It's 30 amp. It's 30 amp, 120 volts. So me, without doing research, and I don't know everything, obviously, because this just proved it, I wired that Hubbell plug up to that. I made an adapter. I made Michelle run over to Menards, and we plugged that in, and we went to go turn on the air conditioners, and they were making a little bit more noise than normal. So then I popped on both air conditioners, and I'm like, yeah, this is not normal. And then the TV went up in smoke. So it's a Roku, like, I don't know if it's a 43 inch. So I was so mad. I brought it to the shop, found out I blew out the power supply, and it needs a couple of 100 UF 250 volt capacitors blew up. The round ones, what do you call them? Electrolytes. So I had a couple 160 volt 46 UF ones, and I couldn't find any other ones that were any closer. So I popped those ones in there and got the TV back working. Because I was really upset. That's all my TVs that I like are the Roku's TCLs. They just never fail. But this time, I think it was intended not to fail, but I was putting 240 volts on the neutral of the 120 volt plug for the RV. But I learned my lesson. I figured out what I did wrong. If you don't know what you're doing, you should probably look it up. I did wire my whole garage myself. So I was wondering if I put the Hubble plug onto the neutral or the ground, because a separated garage, you got a neutral and a ground in the box. Yeah, I blew up the TV. I wasn't going to tell nobody, but I made a mistake, and I'm going to own up to my mistake. I'll put it back on the cam. So, yeah, I was really upset, and I fixed my mistake. I fixed the TV. I brought it back to Michelle so she could watch. She just got in on the news. I just got done like at 10:30. Was able to diagnose what I blew up on that power supply board, and able to fix it and put it all back together like you never even knew it was apart. I did have to clean all the oil out of the TV cabinet. Those little capacitors had a lot of oil in there. It was, I have pictures of it, but I didn't put them up here. I think I could pull one up on my phone. Let me look at my pictures. I took a picture in there of the oil so I could show Michelle, but I never showed her. I forgot. It was getting late. So, like, here's one picture. It's hard to tell what that is, but that's the inside of the case. I'll go back to the other picture, but there's a drip. Yeah, so right down there, that's a drip of oil coming out of the back cover of the TV. I mean, that led me right away to the problem. Like, the capacitors were right there where all that oil was. And, yeah, literally smoke was rolling out of the TV, and she was so scared and upset. She's like, run and unplug it. Rob says, never plug into the main wiring up until that point. I'll pay my buddy in beer to tap my line. He's a union electrician. Yeah. No, we got a really nice electrician here and really reasonable. It's just that, and he did all our work in here. But it was later at night, and I really thought I knew what I was doing. So I learned something yesterday on what kind of voltage that plug should have, and I also learned something that our RV does not have 240 volts in there. So good thing, because we were going to replace those air conditioners. They're just old. They work, but they're old. So I need an air conditioner that is 120 volts. Leisure says, honey, I blew up the TV. Well, she was standing right there. I was so mad I wanted to rip the TV right out of we hang it down from the ceiling. So I got a nice little ceiling mount. It comes down like the passenger front seat right over that, and then it folds up to the ceiling when we're driving. Michelle says, we plug in all the time, but never to that specific plug, which obviously is not meant to be plugged into. Yeah, so there's no way I can wire into that 3-wire twist lock L630, because there is no there's 2 lines, 120 volts a piece, and then there's a ground or a neutral. So I need a ground and a neutral for the RV to do it correctly, and then one hot. So you need like a minimum if you're going to hook into a. That's why they use the 50 amp plug, because there's a. I don't know what I did with that. There's a neutral and a ground and two hots. Yeah, I've seen that. There's a movie called Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. I'm maybe not, but I blew up something. I think I've seen that movie. Yep, I don't know if we'll be able to stay on all night because the it's fading in and out. I can see like I don't. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shut off the TV here because that's probably hogging some of the internet. Maybe that'll help it get better. I don't know what else I could shut off in here because I just don't want to. So let me get back to the feed. So I just shut the TV off, so maybe that'll give me enough internet it don't go out because I can see it's going in and out. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's the movie I'm thinking of. But Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one. So let's see what else we can talk about. Yep, that's all the pictures I got, other than the ones I always show. I think I did add another picture for my charge controller that I built a long time ago because I got other pictures of the charge controller, so I was just like, okay. And I named the picture My Charge Controller, but I don't see it now. So, how was everybody's week? I guess I never asked that question. So, Rob says, do you have an active device monitor on it like mine? I can tell what using bandwidth. No, my phone, I might have some kind of app that can tell that. I just know there's like 6 devices at the house. I have my own weather station that's uploading to the internet all the time. There's a couple other little devices that I built. There's some cameras. Yeah, I have cameras here. At one time, with my old internet, I kept saying it was on their side, but we found one of my security cameras that was hogging the internet, and it was an open one. Anybody could go in and watch it if you had the IP address. So probably a lot of people were watching it, is what the only thing I can think of. Either that or it went bad on the inside somehow. But yeah, so it hasn't been too bad of a week here. We've been busy, and we're scheduled out now to the beginning of July. And our invoices, let me check at the invoices. So we are right on. We're 18 invoices as of today, and today is the 9th. So we're right on 2 invoices a day. Everybody but one person has paid, and that person they pay by mail. So I'm sure the check is in the mail. So we're doing good on that part. And we're on schedule. I got 1 car out in the lot, 2 cars out in the lot that one person just needs to come pick them up. The other person stopped in today and wants me to do more work. So I was trying to find that. I named my charge controller right here. So the very top picture here, this one, that's like the very first charge controller I built. There's my circuit board. A couple of little automotive style relays, a couple of meters, some switches to tell battery voltage or wind turbine PV voltage. Yeah, so now that I know how the RV works, I got a 20 amp 120 volt plug-in in the garage that's not on a what do you want to call it, where they a ground fault. It's not a ground fault, so it is on a breaker. So we have been running the air conditioning units and everything, so we are plugged into that. I do need to get so my batteries, I just don't know if they're up to par. I have no way to test big batteries like that for load. I could try to calculate like their amp hour rating, but it's kind of hard for me to know actually the amp hours I'm using out of those batteries. But I probably should try to figure out if the batteries I got are actually up to par, or if I gotta buy new batteries. And I suppose I can't stay on live all night because Michelle said are we campfiring those hot dogs, or are we gonna cook them on the grill? It's probably a pretty good night. We could get the campfire going at the house and roast them over the campfire. We did that last year a couple times, sitting here beside the shop. We had a little fire pit thing here set up where we were parked beside the shop. I think it was last fall. I think we did it at the house once too. What else can I put on here? Yeah, here's my, I love this truck. Yeah, let's just look at some trucks. They're automotive. I think this was like a 1978 Chevy half ton. And we didn't do like a frame off restoration, but we did a lot of restoration on it. I was on the mechanical side, so I did like the differentials, the transmission, the transfer case, and the engine. And then that's the truck I used to pull my race car. And I was in charge. I didn't do the graphics on them, but I was in charge of okaying which graphics we wanted. And on the hood, there's a nice one too, but you can't see it. Yeah, so I don't want to have a live feed too long. Maybe like maybe around 9 o'clock, and then I'll go home and me and Michelle sit outside and have a campfire, and I'll have a beer, and we can roast some hot dogs. Yeah, I think since I shut off the TV, the internet's better. I just got too much stuff going on my bandwidth, and Rob knows a lot more about that than I do. Like at home though, there's a lot of stuff, and I should shut some of that stuff off. So let's do some cars, and I have a bunch of cars ready to go to show. So I'm just going to go up to the top. So there's my Corvette, and Buff and Kim put my Corvette on one of their live feeds. I don't actually have the Corvette right now. I sold it. The owner that has it now is kind of like, he tried to contact me, like maybe I could buy that back. Very, very sweet car. Rob says, sorry if I'm a little slow tonight trying flies while hanging out. So you're fishing? Oh, you're making the flies for fly fishing. I got it. And then that's my Grand Am that had the 3.1 in it, and something happened. It blew up the cam or something, went flat. And then I put the 3.4 in there out of a 99. So that's a 97. And those are the Ranger wheels. Yeah, Michelle said that's what I should have put up on the live feed last time on Thursday, I think. So before scrapping the car, I saved the wheels and a bunch of other stuff. If I would have known what I was going to do for my future stuff, I would have saved the whole car. But there's a lot of stuff on there that I wanted, and then I scrapped it anyways because I was at my house and I can't have all this junk laying around. And then here's Michelle's Jeep. It's almost due for an oil change. And to reset the reminder on this one, because I've done so many upgrades inside the car, I have to hook the scanner on it to set the mileage. Chris. I don't know how you would get qualified to be an automotive electrician. That just comes with your, unless there's an ASE for just being an automotive electrician. Chris, where are you from that? So I worked in my garage to start out in 2021. Worked there a few years. Then Dad died. I had to go find a different job somewhere else because I couldn't stand being at home. So then I went to work for this guy, and I didn't do a lot to this pickup. I think I rebuilt the carburetor, which is a Rochester Quadrajet. I think that's all I did to this truck, but they did the rest. They lowered it. They got these blue wheels, and they had it buffed. This is original paint, and then he put his logo on the side. And it runs really good. So this was like our shop mascot at the time. Yeah, I don't know if they make like the police style bumpers for our Jeep. Yeah, because like if you hit a snowbank with that thing, she's gonna get the radiator and the condenser. Well, you guys want to see Michelle? Okay. She's in here somewhere. There's Michelle. So yeah, we're on schedule. I just finished up the air conditioning job on the 2004 on, if it does. All right, the internet came back on. So they wanted Motorcraft oil and a Motorcraft oil filter. I'm like, no problem. But Motorcraft, so yeah, here's part of more of what we got to talk about today. That Motorcraft oil is $10 a quart my cost. So yeah, my Napa oil that I normally use, that went up $1 a quart. I think yesterday or today. I just noticed it today. And they still owe me a whole 5-quart jug of 520 because I bought all they had. They said they'd get it to me as soon as they could. And then here's the other thing. On AutoZone, yesterday, they had I need some SAE 30 for some lawnmowers, and it's got to be the right grades because lawnmowers need the zinc and stuff. Well, anyways, I found some from AutoZone, and it was a penny a quart. So I ordered 6 quarts. I didn't think they would send it to me. They sure did. It was 6 cents. So today, I ordered all they had, 24 quarts, and it was 24 cents. So I got a case of 2.5 cases of oil for what is that, 30 cents? So I'm waiting. They'll probably bring me. It says it's being shipped right now from AutoZone. They didn't bring it today, but they'll bring it tomorrow, and I'll probably do a short video on that. So I got 30 quarts of oil. It's SAE 30. But I won't have to buy oil for lawnmowers for a long time. I mean, not all lawnmowers use SAE 30. Some use 1030. But I'll have that covered. Yeah, if you drive that Jeep down on a windy day, it's all over the road. We got it aligned. We got new tires on there. Here's another picture of Michelle. Oh, I asked because my petrol gauge dial is flickering up and down while driving, but not while idle. Wondering if you had any thoughts of the fault of finding such a problem. Okay, so is it a Ford? I need to know what kind of car you got. I could even look it up on Mitchell, the wiring. But some cars have a gas gauge module, and some cars, if you change and put an aftermarket sending unit in there, the gas gauge will like to go up and down because the gas is sloshing. What kind of cars is it that they read? Is it a Chrysler that'll accept that when you put gas in it, it won't read full until you drive it for like 5 miles? Yeah, our internet just is cutting in and out. So it looks like a lot of you guys are just putting up with that, but we're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna try a new box tomorrow, and if that don't work, we're gonna send that back to them, and then I'm gonna look into getting Starlink. Maybe I think that's my only other option. There is one more option, but I'd have to go back to the telephone company, and I sure don't want to do that. Not at all. So yeah, Chris, if you could tell me what kind of car it is, maybe I missed it. I could pull the wiring diagram up on Mitchell, and that will help us. That'll help me better. Or I could pull it up on O'Reilly's. I use them both. I guess there's another one now. Start My Car. There's some wiring diagrams on there. So yeah, Chris, you could go to Start My Car. Usually, all I do is type in your year and the kind of car you got, and type in fuses. That the first one up on Google will be Start My Car. Isuzu, what year? All right, I'm gonna get Mitchell pulled up here. Add vehicle. Sometimes your dashboard or the instrument cluster will be like if it's really like the gas gauge is going up and down smoothly, it could be a different problem. But if it's kind of jerky, it could be like a stepper motor inside. Yep, so I need to start off with what year it is. 2001 Isuzu. Like, is that a Isuzu pickup? Yeah, it would have to be right. So let me go back here. And then when I get this pulled up, I can put it on the screen, although it ain't going to be very big for you guys. Let's just see what cars they have for Isuzu. They have Rodeo Sport, Trooper, Via-Cross. So I'm just going to say it's probably, I don't know which one. Let's go back here and see if he says. So is it a Rodeo or a Trooper? I'm going to pull up this gas gauge wiring for you, Chris, and see if we can come up with a solution. Usually my guys usually we'll have Phil on here and JD, and them guys are mechanics too. So we got Leisure and Rob. Who else is on here? Yeah, so out of 2001, I don't know what part of the country you live in, but like Rob said here, could be a bad ground. So a lot of times when I work on old cars for the gas gauge, it's a ground. All right, so it's a Rodeo. Let me get back here. So I think that's all I got to do. Well, here it is. Should give me a section here to add this vehicle, but it's not. Probably got to refresh this page. think this page has been up since yesterday. Sometimes you got to refresh it to get started over. What else can I put it on? There's my motorcycle, but I was going to put it on this picture. There's my van. I haven't been driving it the last couple days, but I got the car trailer hooked on it right now. All right, let me go back and see. I refreshed that page. My internet is just really, really crapping out on me tonight. And I know it's just not all bandwidth. It's a bad I don't know where the tower is because we're using it off it's a cell phone box or cell service box. Cellular. That's how it gets its internet. I could use a hotspot on my phone, but then some of my stuff don't work in here, don't connect to my phone, not everything. I'm still waiting for this page to load up. I'm just gonna try that. They got wiring diagrams. So let me put this all back in again. 2001. Isuzu Rodeo vehicle. If I could just get a wired diagram to pull up for the gas gauge, the fuel gauge. On my Slack and internet, Michelle calls these guys all the like twice a week. All right, now I think I'm going to put it on the computer screen so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So let me switch over to the computer screen. Computer screen. Now I'm going to go back to the internet. So here I'm at O'Reilly's with a 2001 Isuzu Trooper. So I'm not sure where our fuel gauge would be. We'll try instrumentation. I don't see nothing there for the fuel. Here's the fuel gauge. Looks like in the cluster we got a 10 ohm resistor. And then we got a common over to the speedometer. Well, what are these other two? Where do they go? It's kind of hard to tell on this one, on these diagrams. They're really, really kind of vague. I don't know where they get these. Who makes them for O'Reilly's? I don't know. All right, let's just go. So it goes over here to powertrain control module, fuel level output, fuel level input goes straight to the fuel tank sending unit. And then the other wire, so the wire we read, goes back to the powertrain control module. They both go to the powertrain control module. Something's got to be grounded here for the, you would think. Looks like there's a bunch of connectors. So you could have a crusty connector. I don't know. I don't think you told me what state you live in. Let me go back. I need to pull up a Mitchell wire diagram. So I'm kind of thinking you got a bad connector, or like Rob said, a bad ground somewhere. The other thing too, you can go to O'Reilly's and ask for this wire diagram, and they'll print it off for you. They're pretty helpful on trying to get your car fixed, because if it's a part they have, they want to sell you a part. All right, I'm gonna switch back, and I'm gonna try to pull this up on Mitchell. So I'm gonna get my internet back going here. I'm gonna pull up Mitchell. Once I get to Mitchell, then I can put you guys back on. I just don't want to do it while I'm doing it. Also, it remembered what vehicle I put in there. So let me see if I can find a wiring diagram. Once I get in there, I'll put this computer screen. I know it's really small for you guys, but I'll put the computer screen back on so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. Yeah, I don't know. They seem to be really cooperative, Rob, on the phone. They always go into the router and reset everything, or the, I don't know, access point or whatever the box is called. They go in there and they reset everything. And I just know from back in the day that they like to limit your upload. But they say no, it's not a limit on your upload. They say that. So yeah, my pages are still loading, even though it says I got good speed. I don't have good speed on my laptop. But as far as the right at the current moment on my OBS, I have enough bandwidth here to do a live stream at the moment, but it goes up and down, up and down. PTCM got it. Well, the powertrain control module, yeah. But I doubt your PCM is bad. It's going to be a connector in between or a ground. But let me pull up Mitchell and see what Mitchell says. But the PCM does tell the gas gauge what to do. Yeah, so I want to know if you're in the Salt Belt, if you're next to the ocean, or if you're in Texas or Arizona. That would help me like analyze, like, because this is an older vehicle, like, could these connectors be corroded? Could you have a bad wire? You could have a wire just slightly going green that's got the insulation nicked, but I don't think that's it. I think, like, I'm kind of thinking like Rob, there's a background somewhere as of right now. Okay. So I'm getting a little bit farther here on Mitchell. Like normally during the day when I use Mitchell, it's just boom, bada, bang, I can get right there. But Mitchell's wire diagrams are better than O'Reilly's. Sometimes you need them both to figure stuff out, because they could be wrong. I've had that happen all the time, and so do other people. It's just going so slow. So yeah, Leisure, what do you think about Jeffro's tool or wrench exchange, whatever he wants to do? What do you think about that? I'm just gonna guess it's four-wheel drive. Mitchell wants to know if it's four-wheel drive. I could look back at O'Reilly's. Of course, I don't have the actual like VIN number or license plate number to put in, so I don't. I'm going to guess it's automatic transmission. It's just asking me a bunch of questions about your car that I don't even know. Use this vehicle. Usually the wire diagrams are pretty basic for all the models, or all the options, put it that way. Okay, I'm going to put you guys back up on the screen. I'm in Mitchell now. So now we got to find out where is the, I think we were in instrument cluster. Oh boy. All right, let's see if we can track down the fuel gauge. I did not see it in this one. Well, these are all the indicator lights. Fuel gauge right here. It does say a 10.1 ohm resistor is in there. Not sure what that little square box is. So let's see if we can find out where these wires go. It looks like 3, maybe 12. 3 and 12. Boy, this is fuel tank sender right here. 2 wires. Go to the engine. They're not showing as many connectors as O'Reilly's. I'm just going to say that your PCM is probably not bad. You could have a problem in the cluster, or bad ground, or possibly a corroded connector. So what would I do if this car was in my shop? I would go over here to the fuel tank, and I would unplug the connector and see what the gas gauge does. Possibly even drive it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect together with a little jumper wire, number 1 and number 4 on this. So it's a blue yellow and an orange green. I'm going to connect those 2 wires together, and that should make the gas gauge either go to full or empty, one way or the other. And then possibly drive it to see if it fluctuates. So if it fluctuates with them disconnected or connected together, then we would have to, if it fluctuates, then it's probably it's not the sending unit. So then we got to move forward, check all our connectors, grounds. We'd have to keep doing that same procedure all the way up to the ECM. And then that, if it still did it after the ECM, then it's from there to the cluster. So that these wiring diagrams are so vague on this old of a vehicle. Like on a more modern vehicle, they're pretty intricate as far as like where the wires go and what controls what. I'm just gonna pop over here to the feed. Wow, we got some comments on here. Let's see. I don't know. Chris keeps retracting some of his messages. I think Rob's got it. I think it's something with a ground. There's got to be some grounds back there for the fuel tank and for the cluster. Maybe they just like, yeah, I read all those. Yeah, Michelle was just getting that attitude adjuster out last night. Yeah, I'm wondering though if the ground is back there next to the gas tank or down on the A pillar somewhere. Yep. Around here we get a lot of rodents, like mice or squirrels, rabbits. It's a gremlin, don't feed them. Yeah, oil changes are very important. The kangaroos are messing with it underneath the cover of darkness. Yeah, it sounds like Star Wars. So yeah, you're just looking at my computer screen right here. I'll put it back on Mitchell. Make it bigger for you guys. Yeah, we're in the portrait short feed tonight. So maybe you should come back on, Chris, on Thursday, and then this will be on your whole screen because we do our live feeds on Thursday in landscape mode. If you're close by, Chris, bring it by. I'll figure it out. You probably have to call Michelle and make an appointment. All right, let me go back. I'm putting something different up on the screen. Oh yeah, I'll show you a wiring repair. I found the CAN bus was down on this car, and the dang thing wouldn't turn over at all. And a mouse had chewed these wires right here. So they're I don't know. It's not GM high speed LAN. I don't know if you call that a CAN bus. I just call anything that's a LAN or a LIN bus or a CAN bus. I just call it all CAN bus. It's all data. Data gets traveling through these wires. Rob knows about that. They go high and low. So high means they go above 0 volts. Low means they go low, which is lower, negative of 0 volts. So yeah, I kind of forgot about dropping out a bit at idle. I'm gonna have to go back up and read. So it drops out at idle, but not, maybe it's a battery voltage. So it went too far now. I don't know, most of the messages from Chris get retracted. I'm not retracting those messages. That's really weird. But yeah, being it could be something with idle, you're probably going to want to get a voltage gauge on there too. Also, make sure your voltage is nice and steady. Them older ones, voltage could affect how that gas gauge moves up and down. Didn't think about that. Too much and too less voltage could make it go up and down. So if your alternator or battery, which is this, just like Rob saying, the background could do the same thing. So can your alternator. Yeah, I don't know what the weather's like in Australia. I think they got some gold. Like I watched some Australia Gold Hunter something on like the Discovery or History Channel. It's on one of those channels. 7 of them. But since then, I've only caught two since then. That was probably like 10 years ago where I caught all the mice. Here's another one I fixed. Where's the other one? So a John Deere. I had a hard one here. This was a John Deere riding lawnmower, and the engine would only mess up when you turn the mower deck on. And I tried everything to figure this out, but I finally figured it out. And somebody unplugged the reverse. So when you go in reverse, it shuts the mower deck off. Somebody unhooked them wires and just let them hang there, and that's the mower deck belt right there. And that belt don't look good, but it wasn't what it was here for. So I just cut them wires and was able to fix it, and they're mowing the yard, and they haven't been back since. So that's good. Lately I've been getting out one. I'm gonna have to. Somebody's honking the horn at me, I think. Yeah, the dang internet. So yeah, I was able to fix this lawnmower, and that's what was causing it. So we do some wiring here, and that's the Chevy Cruze. Yeah, so anytime like when they're doing we live in a farming community, and when the fields get taken out and or stuff like Rob says, they trees and replacing a bridge, the mice have nowhere to go, so they look for the next place, and the next place is probably your car or your house or your garage. Same thing with rabbits. When you disturb their nest, they look for a new one. So I do got to take down a tree at the house, and the rabbits are living in the tree, so I don't know where them rabbits are going to go. One came through the kitchen ceiling with the wife was cooking. Oh, she almost lost it. Yeah, I remember one time my mom, a bat got in the house. Oh my gosh, that was it was even freaking me out. I was pretty young back then. Yeah, I don't know who honked the horn out there, but I think it's across the street. I caught probably 5 to 7 a night for 3 weeks straight. A night. That's a lot of mice. People need to be more clean up their stuff better to keep the mice down. A normal year, a cat. I can put it back on the camera. So a normal year, the cats would get 1 to 2 a month. Yeah. So some of our cats in this area are just too finicky. One of our cats only gets birds or the neighbor's cats, and that cat is gone now. But it would get mice, but it would just play with them. It wouldn't kill them or eat them. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's just when it first happens, you get scared and don't know what to do. Yeah, I wish I had better internet. I, we got the box at the house right now, and I'm beaming it over, but we could have brought the box over here. But it was working good before I had my live feed. Like the 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 speed tests were all like acceptable. Since last night when Michelle called them. Like as soon as she called them, like within a minute, the internet started working. So I'm assuming they went into the box and they reset something. Michelle says a little bit different, like it took them a little bit longer, but I'm just going off the time frame of when she texted me that they were going into the box or that she called them. Because I couldn't get no internet last night. I was trying to look up capacitors for the TV, and that's a special capacitor. I can't even find it. I probably have to go to DigiKey, but the two smaller capacitors I put in there seem to be working. So the most that'll happen is it'll blow up again. But we're always there, so I don't think it's a fire risk, but it probably is. So let's go back. Yeah, Michelle does not like mice at all. So I think I caught one at the shop here last year. There hasn't been any since then. And I can't remember maybe the year before that I caught one at the house right before winter because it was looking for a new place. Yeah, let's go back to looking at some cars. Okay, so yeah, they were in the box and reset something. That's when my internet started working again. Like I could probably sit back just. My new chair is heavy. Sit back just a little bit so I'm not like in your guys' face. So here I am. I'm like 15 years old. I kind of like that picture. And that's my old 61 International C110 pickup that I don't have any pictures. We didn't have cell phones back when I was this age. And I had took out the original, I don't know if it was a 304 International engine, and it had a 4-speed, and it was 2-wheel drive. I made this truck, I put a 392 International engine in it with a 727 automatic, NP205 transfer case, and put Dana 44s in it out of a 79 Travelall. I think it was a 79, I don't know. And then Travelalls could have had an International engine or an AMC engine, but mine was the International, and that's why I bought it. I bought it just for the drivetrain. Now, like vehicles like that are, if you restore them like a Travelall, they're worth an insane amount of money. Yeah, we keep a pretty tight ship in here. Besides for the dog food. And that's how I knew there was a mouse in here last time, is because the dog food was coming up to be in different places. But as long as I don't see dog food like in weird places, I don't think there's any mice in here. I did have a bird the other day, but I shoot it out. And here's my 79 Monte Carlo. Love this car. That picture was taken in winter, probably right when I first bought it. What else? What else do we got? Leisure says the M-Line 6s were AMCs. I thought they had a V8. Like I can't remember what size that engine would be. Yeah, I really want a cat, but I just don't know if how good I would take care of it. And then Daisy, I don't know how Daisy would get along with having another pet cat. Daisy is pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Like she's the number one. She's the one that gets spoiled. She's the one that gets a little bite out of your sandwich. Daisy knows she's the pampered one. Like if we got another pet, I don't know how Daisy would do with that. I think Michelle wants to get another dog. This one. I want one of these cars back. I talk about that all the time. Eventually, I'm going to find one. As far as the rodents go, we don't like leave any food lying around, and cracking open a beer, getting a head start. It's a Busch Light. Where is right here? Busch Light. I suppose I got my microphone right by my neck so you guys can hear me swallowing and everything. Oh, what else? Yeah, so the decals, I could make decals just one color. Like we did the Ranger sides, and we're gonna, so we made the bigger one there, the gray one, silver, above the wheel. Made that yesterday, just blank. And then I made the back ones on the tailgate today. And I'm out of silver. So this is gloss silver on the side, and then I had some matte silver for the back, but it seems to match pretty good, and you can't tell. And then I didn't put any transfer tape on them, paper. I just ripped or peeled them off the, what do you call it, the vinyl. I peeled the vinyl off the backing and then just hand put them on there. I've done a lot of decals, so sometimes like on the Jeep, when I put the decals on the Jeep, let me find those. I mix up a little dish soap, like a couple drops of dish soap and some water, and I will spray that down. Yeah, so I did all these vinyl. So there's on the door, on the passenger door, there's that little Jeep symbol. Underneath the door handle, those really work, because I've got some of these Jeeps in here and people's fingernails get behind there and it scratches the paint. So this protects the paint underneath the door handles. I can try to make that bigger. Yeah, right underneath the door handles. And then above the windows for the passenger side, that black that's by the luggage carrier there, I cut that one out of there too. And then on the hood, I did those. Then underneath the Jeep symbol there, I did that little one. That was just some extra. And in the middle of the hood, I made one of those Jeeps symbols. I don't know what you call that. Like the Renegades, this is Renegade, and the tail lights have that in the back when they're on. Leisure says, keep the litter box scooped and use clumping litter. Yeah, we'd have to have a litter box. Oh boy, the internet is just going up and down. Yeah, so I think since my internet is so bad, and then Michelle, we're gonna campfire out some all beef hot dogs. Is that what we got? What do you call them? They're not Smokies, but they're something else maybe. And the sun has just set, so that's a perfect time to have a little campfire. We got a little wood at home, and it's an old grill top that I converted out of an old Weber grill and put some legs on it. So it's kind of like a self-contained fire. It's a fire pit, and it's off the ground. I never have any trouble. Like the cops will drive by. Of course, all the cops know me really good now because they all bring the vehicles to me. And I just seen this guy. He has not been back, but he did go to his training way up north. So I see he's back, and he is on patrol again. So I think he said he has like 6 days on, 6 days off. But everything is, no news is good news. So I haven't heard from him. I'm sure he'll be back for his next oil change. And I'm sure he's telling everybody too. So I'm probably going to get a lot more estate type vehicles. Or I do not want to work on ambulances. They're too big to get into my shop. Yeah, the only time I'll use the cheaper hot dogs is if I put it in macaroni and cheese. And then I'll put like a slice of cheese in there, extra cheese in my mac and cheese, and then I'll cut up a couple hot dogs into little round slices, and that just makes mac and cheese a whole bunch better. And speaking of that, we haven't had any mac and cheese to eat lately, Michelle. Of course, it does take like 20 minutes to make it, unless you make the Velveeta stuff. That's a little bit quicker. Shells and I call it the Velveeta one, shells and cheese. Now, there is a picture of the. I have to find it. Not that one. There is a picture of. Oh, I know where it is. So it's by my garage photos. But I do have a picture of our. I don't know which year this one is. We have two of them and they look almost identical. Flatbed. So if I take this picture out and put this picture in, there's a picture of our squad car. So I think this is the 2021. Rob says we got a local butcher for all the dogs. My goodness, so good. Yeah. So I've had like meat locker, and they're good. And the other day, one of my customers invited us over for bratwurst, and he cooked them on the grill. They were the best brats I've ever had. And I'm like, where did you get them? And he's like, I got them at Quick Trip. But I could not believe it. They were so good. And I think Michelle liked them too. So yeah, what else? What else can I show you guys? Well, I'll just put me back on. So yeah, I don't know what to think about my internet. Hopefully we come up with. We'll bring the new box down here for Thursday. We're not going to take any chances. And then I'll probably have more news to tell you guys. I think I told you it all today. But yeah, the Hyper Tough tools. Just not sure. Like, I suppose this is a collector's edition thing anyways. You would never probably not use it. I never even tried to see if the sockets fit on good. Whoops, yeah. Oh, yeah. Pretty tight. I don't know who makes this. Like, maybe we could switch out the head. Yeah, the other thing I was going to show you guys is all the flashlights, but that'll have to be for another time. Yeah, from Quick Trip, and they were excellent. I could not. I think I had 3, or did I just have 2? So Rob says our local butcher is so popular. When we were in the office, the one guy from Philly said, "Yeah, we got our deer processed at the butcher." I'm like, "Yo, that's in my backyard, basically 1 mile up from the road." Yeah, the only thing is, like, butchers are good, and that's good fresh meat, but usually it's kind of on the more spendy side. Because we have a butcher here in our town which he just has a very small shop. But there's another butcher, couple butchers in Spring Valley, but they are on the very upper end of what stuff should cost. Yep. So our weather tomorrow, it said from 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock, could be severe, and they're predicting tornadoes, which I don't think I've ever heard the news predict a tornado a day ahead of time. Maybe that's just something they do now. Hopefully they're wrong. I just think they're trying to hype it up and scare people. But they'll come on and they'll interrupt all the broadcasts, and they'll be live on TV, and we'll be able to watch it. But hopefully nobody gets tornadoes. But it has been trending the last few storms. There has been tornadoes, so maybe they can predict this pretty accurately. I just hope that we don't have severe weather like that. It makes me very anxious. And 2 to 9 p.m. Yep. We don't need tornadoes. We don't need hail. I just had a farmer come in today, and they said they have enough rain. They're waiting for it to dry up to get back into the field to spray. So yeah, I think because of the internet, because Michelle's cooking some food, and the word I was looking for on the last live feed was, I'm going to sign off. I think I said call it. So call it, sign off, same things. But I'm glad all you guys came here, and we did try to help Chris a little bit. That's pretty great. I think Rob has got something he needs to check out on his grounds, and come to think of it, maybe he needs to check his alternator voltage too, or battery voltage. I don't like large hail because none of my vehicles have hail damage. I want to keep them that way. In my house, they no longer have a hail part of your insurance because everybody abused over the last few years. Abused the insurance, and the companies almost went bankrupt because everybody in my town got a new roof. So if it was that way here, it was here like that all over. State Farm actually canceled me because they said my roof was old, so I had to get different insurance. And then it hailed, and I got a new roof. I didn't need a new roof or necessarily need one, but they said that I did. So I'm just going to do what they say. I pay them, and then if they tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. Yeah, so Michelle, that was a little bug that was drinking my beer. Michelle just definitely wants me to park the Jeep inside. So I think whatever nice weather we still have out there, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to sign off. Thank all you guys for coming. I hope you guys all have a great rest of the week. Hopefully no bad weather in your guys' area. And hopefully I'll get my internet fixed for Thursday. But yeah, so I'll be coming home soon, Michelle. So yeah, thanks for coming, guys, and have a great night, everyone. Hello? Hello? I think so. Oh, what difference does it make? Yeah, it was delayed on my end.